Here, what's going on, everybody? My name is Justice. I'm with my guy,
What's poppin'? It's poppin'. It's your boy Tyaire. How y'all doing?
and you're tuned into the Silky Boys podcast, the wavy podcast out for your sports news and what's going on in the culture. Tyaire, how you feeling this week coming off of Thanksgiving?
I'm feeling good, bro. Spend some time with the family. Had some good food, bro. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good too. We had a Zoom Thanksgiving, had my parents with my sister's family too. It was good overall, not bad Thanksgiving. So hopefully all y'all out there had a great Thanksgiving as well. But with that being said, let's get right into it. NBA free agency. We had a lot of signings and a lot of money handed out to a lot of players. Some of it deserving, others questionable. So first, let's start off with the Lakers. So the Lakers ended up losing Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo, Avery Bradley, and Danny Green. But they added Montrezl Harrell, Marcus Gasol, and Dennis Schroeder. And this is one of the rare cases where a team that just won the championship got better the next offseason. So, as a resident Lakers fan, how do you feel about the moves that the team made?
I like the moves that they make, but at the same time, I'm like, who can we check the Lakers books? Like, where are they where are they getting the money for these deals, my guy? I'm like, how were these deals able to be made? But the most shocking one, honestly, was the Montrezl Harrell signing. We would say them signing the reigning six man of the year. That's something you usually don't hear from the team that just won the championship. So that was a major move. Marc Gasol coming in, playing that center role, so AD can play that power forward role he loves to play. That was a good pickup. But overall, he was good moves. The Schroeder, Harrell, and Gasol pickups is definitely good for them. And right now, they sitting right at top for the contending team right now to repeat. I don't see other teams really competing with them right now.
Right now, the Lakers are probably my favorites too to win it all. But with the addition of Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, they addressed something that was definitely something that needs to be addressed this past all season was their bench. Their bench unit was probably one of the worst in the league in terms of actually being able to create offense because when LeBron and AD were both on the bench, that bench unit wasn't really producing anything. Even with Rondo, Alex Caruso, and all those other guys. But now you have the top two bench scorers from last year on the same team. Now you can just run pick and roll all day with Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, be able to actually create points, actually be able to maintain and extend leads in games for the future for them. So that was really good for them. And also with the addition of Marcus Gasol, that was a great move because now because with Montrez, they're able to go small against certain teams, but they don't lose their size, even though they lost Dwight Howard. And also, Marcus Gasol is a great defensive player. He can rebound for you. He doesn't have to do too much, playing only about 20 to 25 minutes a game. And when you need him to, he can stretch the floor and shoot threes, something that JaVale McGee nor Dwight Howard could do. So right now, Lakers, like you said, probably the number one dog is coming into next season.
And the number one question is, how did Kuz survive all of this? We don't know, bro.
Kuz, honestly, I feel like Kuz still might get traded during the season. But I mean, he said he's gonna remind us. What he's gonna remind us of, I don't know because we've never really seen him, be anything more than a below average NBA player or rotation player at all ever in his career. But hey, we'll see what happens. He deactivated his Twitter for a reason, so hopefully he's in the gym actually working. We'll be able to see something from him this year. So now, moving on to the Clippers. You mentioned that they lost Montrezl Harrell, but they were able to replace him with Serge Ibaka, which was a great move for them as well. So how do you feel about the Clippers right now?
The Clippers are in a weird predicament right now because last year they were the consensus best team. Everybody ripped them off as the best team on paper, and we know what happened. They got to the bubble, whatever for whatever reason. A lot of players on the team didn't want to be there, so they lost. Whatever, but now they lost the key factor to that team losing Harold. He was a key person coming off that bench. That tandem with him and Lou Will was really something that was the culture of that team. I feel like him, Patrick Beverly, and Lou Will were the culture of that team that they really set after CP and Blake left. And now that those players are gone, it's kind of like the Clippers are rebuilding right now, kind of sort of like rebuilding, retooling around Kawhi and PG, which is something they probably should have did last summer, but they were trying to say, hey, we got this team. They just were in the playoffs. They were playing the defending champs and took them to 6. I'm sure if we add these two guys, we can win a championship. And basketball doesn't work like that. You actually have to have chemistry, and I feel like that's what they're trying to do now. I heard that they're shopping Lou Will around to possibly get a Terry Rozier deal or something like that. I like that move for them. They definitely do need a point guard. But I feel like overall they got to kind of take a L on this off season because I feel like the move they needed to make was the Rondo move and it didn't get done. And they lost him basically for nothing. He went to the Hawks. So like it's kind of like
Mhm. And you brought up an interesting point about the Clippers retooling and rebuilding because I wanted to bring this up. So with Serge Ibaka coming, he signed a 2-year deal with a player option at the end. So when his contract is up, when he's able eligible again for free agency, is not only him but Kawhi and also Paul George. So your three best players are all for contract at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see these next 2 years of what kind of playoff success they will have because by like 2023, 2024, we could be in a situation where the Clippers are in a rebuilding phase where Paul George is somewhere else, Kawhi is somewhere else, and another super team somewhere else. So it's something definitely to keep an eye on. And you brought up Rondo, what's called them not signing Rondo. That was big. And with him going to the Hawks, I like that move a lot. And I just overall, I felt like the Hawks were a big winner from this free agency because they were able to get Rondo, they were able to get Danilo Gallinari, they were able to get Bogdan Bogdanovic, as well as Chris Dunn. Already, I already pegged the Hawks to be a playoff team, but already adding those additions as well, I think the Hawks can be a really fun team next year and be honestly one of the top 4 teams in the East, similar to with the way that the Suns operated this past offseason.
and they still got Capella from last year that they really didn't acclimate too well after the trade deadline because the season ended. So they still really got like 5 new players that's coming onto the team to already add to that young core. So yeah, I definitely like the moves Atlanta made. And it's gonna help Trey Young out regardless.
Right. And when you have John Collins and now Clint Capella, you have two lob threats, shooters in the corner everywhere. And Rondo, in certain lineups, Rondo can play with Trey Young. I want to see Trey Young actually be able to play off the ball if he's able to actually do that. And also, it helps him out also with Chris Dunn signing because now you don't have to worry about, well, you still have to worry about Trey Young's defense, but now you'll at least have two perimeter defenders that are at least an upgrade for him, what they had. And also, not to mention as well, Cam Reddish and also the young dude out of Virginia too. Those guys developing.
Yeah, DeAndre Hunter.
Mm-hmm. And also, I just want to ask you, like, what was a curious like signing, a surprise signing, or a signing that you made that just made you go, why did they do that?
What signing did that for me? I don't know. You got to tell me. I got to think on that, bro. Maybe
Honestly,
it has to be the Celtics and Tristan Thompson. I just don't know how Tristan Thompson got the deal he got. Like I don't know what's going on with the clutch conglomerate, but I'm feeling like they have some type of footage on these GMs or something. Because I feel like if I'm the Celtics, they could have gave that deal to a better power forward. So I think that's the most surprising deal for me. It's just overall what the clutch conglomerate has been doing in the deals they've been getting, bro.
I do kind of like that Tristan Thompson signing for the Celtics, as far as them being an addition to the team. But like you said, I like deal for 2 years, 19. But that's just what the market dictated right now. He saw Serge Ibaka get 2 for 19, so he figured I can do the same thing, just within a different role. And if anything, he adds more value to that Celtics team rather than Serge Ibaka does that Clippers team. But one something that really did surprise me was the fact that this man, Gordon Hayward, is able to finesse $120 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets. I understand why Charlotte did it. You had to overpay him if you wanted to bring him in for the sake of just being competitive and be able to sell your fans on something that looks like a competitive basketball team. But still, it really just I was really just surprised by it. Didn't really make any sense, especially considering like where do they really go in these next couple of years? Like granted, they do have a young core, but do you really honestly see that young core developing that the way that they do, along with Gordon Hayward still on a contract? On top of that, you still have Nick Batum on the contract as well. So that kind of just didn't make sense to me at
Yeah,
all.
the Hornets is a weird like group of talent. They have a lot of players that play similar roles, and it's just like It's just like they have a positionless team. Like they have like 5 players that play the same type of role. Like they have Graham, they have Rozier, now they got LaMelo, and then they got Bridges and guys like that on the down low, Batum and all those guys, and now they're adding Hayward to that mix. I really don't see how you make a honest rotation out of that, or can get like a solid lineup with those type of players, all playing similar roles. But like you said, Mike is just trying to get the biggest box off drawer that he can get because he realistically knows that no star is coming to Charlotte. Like after Kimba left, Mike was just like, let me just draw some attention to the team. Let me just sell some tickets right now.
Right. And speaking of stars possibly being on the move, we had to talk about the Giannis element because he still has not signed his contract extension at all. He's in the gym, he's working out, but we don't know what team he's really working out for. And this brings me up to the Bam Adebayo contract. So Bam Adebayo just signed his contract extension for 5 years, 163 million, but that could go up to 193 if he makes an All NBA team. So let's say if he doesn't make an All NBA team, they're stuck with him for 5 years at 163. They're able to actually save money and actually be able to possibly make a run for Giannis next year. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's in play. I've been saying that Giannis most likely won't stay with the Bucks because I don't see where they can build around him. Like honestly, you have to take it into your own hands at a point and see what team best fits for you. We're going on year 4 of Giannis being a dominant player in the league, and I don't really see much improvement. We bring in Drew Holiday. We'll see how that works this season, but I feel like Giannis is going to play it out to half season. I don't think he's going to sign an extension, and the Bucks are honestly going to have to make that decision. Are we going to trade him, or are we going to see if he signs with us in the offseason or lose him for nothing? But the longer we play out into the offseason is the more and more I feel like Giannis is leaving. Because the loyalty factor, I never really buy into that. Every player says I'm loyal to a team, but to a point you want to win. You hear what the people are saying about you and you see your situation, like, all right, we probably won't win with this group we got right here. So he might take it into his own hands. So time will tell. But like I said, the further they go on, I feel like it's leaning towards Giannis being out of there.
I just wonder if the Bucks do decide to trade him where he goes. Because I'm thinking possibly if they try to get some assets, what the Rockets have done, maybe potentially with Philly, but who knows? That can be up in the air, and we'll see.
He ended up like Kawhi, and they just might trade him to somewhere nobody was thinking about. Like you just might be sit a year out somewhere and just go somewhere and then leave wherever you want to go in the off season.
Potentially just be a 1-year rental. But that's NBA free agency. Now let's go into NFL. NFL season is in jeopardy right now. And you and I, we both had our concerns and our doubts, the fact that a full NBA and NFL season could be played in the midst of the pandemic. This past week has shown why we had those doubts. Within the past week, we had 5 NFL teams cancel practice due to COVID outbreaks. The Ravens and Steelers game that was supposed to be playing on Thanksgiving has been postponed to Sunday. But then it was postponed again till Tuesday. Lamar Jackson has tested positive for COVID.
That's why it was postponed into Tuesday. That's why they postponed it to Tuesday.
Yep. So you have that. And now we're looking at a situation where there's really 2 possibilities of what could happen. We either look at the addition of a week 18. That way 16 games still are able to play due to postponements or even cancellation of games. Have that week for makeups, essentially. Or they shorten the season down to, let's say, around 10 games instead of 16 and have a 16-team playoffs. Which do you think is more in play?
I feel like the second half needs to be done. I feel like they need to take and look what the MLB did and the NBA did, how they had to switch in the middle of the season and do something new. And I feel like this time right now would be the time, like we said, around Thanksgiving time is where they're going to have to make a real decision where they want to do. Because I never really thought they were going to play a full season out until December, January. So I feel like in the next week or 2, they're going to have to make that second decision probably and shorten it probably 10-week season. So play 2 more weeks and then format some way where you could get a bubble type of format with the AFC in one place and the NFC in one place. Because honestly, it's just going to keep growing and growing. The more travel, more teams, and then more star players are going to get it. And then that's when they're really going to lose out on the money. Like, it was cool when it was like a group of linemen or like a linebacker who really mattered. But now Lamar has got it, and it's taking out a big primetime game that a lot of people are angry wasn't played. Like, that was a primetime Thanksgiving game that got canceled. So now it's getting into the more business side of things. And I feel like they're going to try to make a solution where everybody can be happy with it.
I want to bring this question up to you. The way that COVID cases are trending, the way everything that has been, is there a situation where middle December they would actually cancel the season and try to resume it later on until next year?
I don't feel I feel like everybody said, once they started, they're gonna finish it. So like I just feel like so much money is in play right now, they're gonna find a way to finish this no matter what. And we're already halfway throughout the season. It would kind of be like the NBA, but I feel like they would rather force something quickly like they did already at the beginning of the season, just try to force something quickly and just get it done with. Let's play the playoffs and Super Bowl. That's just the way the NFL thinks. I feel like if this were like the MLB or like the NBA, maybe, but NFL is strictly for the buck.
And that's kind of just how it's always been.
Yeah, like,
it is what it is. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Honestly, I think a shortened season with 16-game playoffs is probably the future of what we're looking at right now. I would be really surprised if they tried to play out these full 16 games and try to implement Week 18 and to play into December and into January of playoffs. I'll be really surprised if that happens. But enough of that. Let's get moving on to the culture. Gotta talk about the Grammys. And the snubs that were just, this happens year after year, it feels like. And it's just, where do we go from here? It's like, what is the criteria? There needs to be some transparency of what actually goes into making these decisions into these nominations. So for Best Rap Album, these are the nominations. Black Habits, D-Smoke. Alfredo, Freddie Gibbs, Alchemist. Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony. Nas, King's Disease. And Royce 5'9's The Allegory. Now, one of those nominations included Pop Smoke's album or Lil Baby's album, My Turn. Both albums went platinum this year. My Turn went double platinum this year. How do you... Lil Baby's been the best rapper this year. For him to not even get a single nomination. I'm glad that they gave one to Pop Smoke, but Lil Baby didn't even get not one nomination at all. When he's had a career year that's only continuing. He's going to drop another project next week. Just how do you feel about it, man?
Like you said, man, Lil Baby literally has dropped the album of the year. He has the song of the year. It's not a song that you hear more than We Paid. But the problem I have with this list is we see D-Smoke on the list. And we love D-Smoke. We love the story that D-Smoke has. You a Netflix star. You made it big. You got into the industry. But he does not deserve a Grammy nomination off his first album. At all. I heard some songs off it. It's it's not Grammy nominated or for album. So this is clearly showing me that there's some behind the scenes politics here. I don't know, it's because he's Sir brother or something. TDE pulled some strings for him, even though TDE don't even mess with the Grammys like that. So I wouldn't even say that. I don't know, Netflix pulled some strings for him, but there's no way, no reason why D-Smoke should have been in this category at all. Like you said, over Lil Baby, who's had probably one of the greatest rap years that we've seen. Literally in a year that was the hardest to really put out music and for fans to connect with because of so much that was going on in the world. He actually thrived in a pandemic year. Pop Smoke, who probably released the greatest posthumous album besides Juice WRLD and Biggie. These are the two albums that were snubbed for an artist that just got popping off a Netflix show. Like, you can't tell me that there's politics behind it. And it really just feels like the Grammys just want you to ass kiss. And for artists that are not going to do that, cool. Like, I feel like this just shows us there has to be something. We have to support something else. We can't keep looking at the Grammys if this is what they're going to give us, bro.
Mm-hmm. And Drake, he commented on this whole situation along with a lot of other people. What he said was really intriguing to me. He says, I think we should stop allowing ourselves to be shocked every year by the disconnect between impactful music and these awards and just accept that once was the highest form of recognition may no longer matter to the artists and exist now and the ones to come after. So after reading that, it really posed the questions for me in the next 5 to 10 years. If a Grammy nomination or a Grammy Award winner, is that going to hold as much weight as it once did 30 or 40 years ago for some of these artists? Because it brings back to a few years ago when Good Kid, Mad City didn't win over, that didn't get an award win. So
some tags only got $20. Fuck out of here, man. Like, the Grammy should have been done at that moment, bro. Like, at that moment, the Grammy should have been canceled, man.
At that point, right. And the fact that we still see it going on today, but there just doesn't seem to be any change within, again, the format or who's actually reviewing the music and who's actually processing it and actually see the impact. I think that's the most important part about it, impact. You can't tell me that Pop Smoke's Post-Mortem album wasn't impactful the way it was. You can't tell me that Lil Baby's album wasn't impactful the way that it was over those nominations. Again, Nas had a great album.
You can't tell me that The Weeknd doesn't deserve not one nomination.
Now, one nomination when he had the best male pop album and the number one song throughout the entire year, he didn't get one.
When Summer Walker is not nominated for R&B Album of the Year.
When Division doesn't even get a nomination. When Division, that's arguably the best album overall that came out this year. They don't even get recognized for one. It's frustrating to see. It really is, because as a musician, like, you want your work to be recognized at the highest level, and that's what the Grammys are, for your music to be recognized at the highest level. But again, I think it really is gonna come down to the next couple of years where that Grammy Award isn't gonna hold as much weight. Honestly, I think that's where we're coming to.
Like, we saw Kanye pee on it. We saw Jay-Z say this is a sippy cup for Blue, bro. Like, we just gotta show them that we don't respect this, bro. Like, Nas doesn't have a Grammy, bro. So like honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, bro. Nas doesn't have a Grammy. Biggie doesn't have a Grammy. Like, you don't need a Grammy to be great, bro. And I feel like once we just notice that, they'll die out, bro. Just like anything, just like the Oscars, just like all these established white hierarchy type of organizations that you have to like kiss ass to get their approval. We don't need their approval. We obviously make stuff what's hot, bro. They're fishing for what we have, and they know that. They know that this is going to draw attention by not giving the biggest artists who deserve the shot the nomination. They know this is going to happen. That's why they release bullshit statements after the fact to be like, oh, cover their tracks. No, they knew what this. Now everybody's talking about the Grammys in a year that people probably weren't going to watch it. So it's just like, whatever, bro.
But even still, yeah, we're talking about it, but you just brought that point. We're still not going to watch it because of that. Because of the fact that you don't listen to, again, the most impactful music. You play the politic game for what? You play politics with an art form that so many people value in this world. It's an outlet for so many different people, and it means a lot to these people, and especially to these artists. Why are you playing politics with someone's life's work? And a lot of these cases,
it's not just like the artist, it's like the whole team who put together that piece of work. Like, people work on albums for like a year and a half to 2 years. So somebody really worked 2 years on an album thinking, oh, this is Grammy nominated way to work. They weren't spending time with their family. They locked themselves in a studio for something that they desire so much, because this is what people say is the pinnacle of music, and you need this to be a great artist. You need this to get money and brand deals, because everybody loves to hear Grammy nominated this, Grammy award winning this. You just need that to boost your credits in the entertainment business. And for this select group of people to just shit in your face saying, oh, this 2 years worth of work, it's nothing. We're just going to choose whoever we want it anyway. It doesn't
over people that frankly that don't really deserve the nomination. Just plain and simple. What have you done in your career thus far to get a Grammy nomination? Like no disrespect to D Smoke, he's a great rapper and all, but again, like Baby he's had a great 3 year run, a 3 year run that hasn't been seen in rap in a very long time. Pop Smoke left a lasting impact, but even before he passed away, he left an impact for what he was doing with that Brooklyn drill scene. So for that not to even get recognized is disheartening.
And then they're the same type to try to give somebody a lifetime achievement award 10 years down the line just to boost your ratings up. Bring Jay-Z in there 15 years after he should have had an award just to so people could watch the show. But oh, Jay-Z's here tonight to receive the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Don't do that to me. Give me the Grammy when I deserve it, not when you want to need me to come get your ratings up.
Give me my flowers when I deserve it. Give me my flowers in the moment. Let me get the recognition that I know I deserve and that I know I worked so damn hard to get.
Exactly, bro.
That's all it is, man. Anything else in the culture, really?
Not really, bro. It's just a lot of people arguing about Thanksgiving plates and stuff. I've seen a lot of bad plates, bro.
A lot of bad plates.
Macaroni and cheese has just been getting disrespected, bro. I've seen somebody with macaroni cheese with breadcrumbs on top, bro. Like real white bread just on top.
Like who is cooking some of these meals, bro? Like honestly, who is really cooking some of these meals, bro?
I think they just find what they see on TikTok, bro, and just go with it, bro. These are like recipes on the internet that they find, bro. But it's just really disgusting, bro. But this year was so weird. Like yesterday was really Thanksgiving, and it did not feel like that at all. Bro.
At all. It felt like another day. it felt like another day, honestly. And like speaking of that, like honestly, like with Christmas coming around the corner now too, it's like holidays. It's like it really is not going to feel any much different from the past regular days that we've been having for the past couple months. Like right now, like it's wild.
When are we honestly gonna get out of this, bro?
Like, I'm hoping I'm just really hoping by like March, April next year, bro, we get some sort of like resemblance of just a normal life again. Honestly, I'm really hoping, man. But you actually just remind me real quick, talking about Thanksgiving plates, your take about turkey. It was probably the best analogy of turkey I have ever heard in my life. Turkey is the equivalent to the fucking Cowboys. Expand on that just a little bit.
So, like the Cowboys, bro, it's America's team. It's America's holy grail. Everybody loves the Cowboys every year. When it's around, they play every Thanksgiving. They're the centerpiece of Thanksgiving, similar to turkey. Everybody loves this dish. But realistically, this is a trash ass dish. This is a trash team. When it's time for the spotlight, they're dry, give you no flavor, don't bring any excitement to your plate. Similar to turkey. When you put it on your plate, it's dry, it brings no excitement to what you're about to eat. And they're basically the Cowboys. But guess what? Every year, they're going to be in the spotlight. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Turkey commercials. But they're not the factor. Realistically, we got to put mac and cheese at the forefront of Thanksgiving. Mac and cheese deserves its rightful place at the top of the Thanksgiving holy grail, people. Everybody knows when we walk in a spot, mac and cheese is Beyonce. Everybody is there for her. We look at how she was made, and we want her to get on our plate. So I feel like at a point in time, just like we got to stop hyping up the Cowboys, it's going to come a time where we got to stop. Overall, we got to stop calling it Thanksgiving because it's a Native American massacre. But we got to stop hyping up turkey. And I think now that we're in 2020, everybody's eyes has opened. We went through a pandemic. It's the perfect time to be like, you know what? Turkey is actually trash, bro. So I need everybody to start using that analogy, bro. Turkey is the Dallas Cowboys of Thanksgiving, bro.
Honestly. Like you said, at the forefront of every Thanksgiving, but yet you have other sides that outshine it every single year, like the Cowboys. They're the focal point of every NFL season, despite the fact, oh, Arizona might be good this year. The Panthers might be good this year. In the same way that mac and cheese, greens, you talk about the desserts as well. Like, come on. There are other sides and just other aspects of the Thanksgiving plate that need to have their shine, but they don't get their credit because of this whole tradition of having a Thanksgiving turkey. Like, let's be real, like, turkey isn't that good. Like, it really isn't. I would rather have a chicken rather than a turkey. I'd rather have a ham than a turkey. I'd rather have some type of beef. I'd rather have steak than a turkey. Like, why do we do this as a society? And the fact that, like, it's been this way for the sake of tradition. For the sake of tradition. But it's 2020. Do we really, like, let's be honest with ourselves. Do we really need to?
Bro, I'm telling you, our hosting Thanksgiving, the turkey is not going to be there. Like, I'm not wasting my time buying this turkey. Like for what? Just to uplift the tradition? Like, at the end of the day, the turkey sits there barely eaten. Like, when I looked at the turkey yesterday, it still had a hell of meat on there. Nobody wants it. It's just it's for a picture, man. Like,
it's a picture. It's there for the picture. That's all it's there for. Like, and for the sake of upholding tradition, I said.
And for you to say, oh, I did a turkey drive, I passed out turkeys. Like, is that why this is popular? Because people throwing them out of the back of trucks? like, yeah, I'm sorry we can't throw macaroni and cheese out, but you can come to the crib and get some. Like, we can't do a macaroni and cheese drive, but...
Nah, you do a macaroni and cheese drive, it's over, man. It's over. I'm lining up. I don't care.
I'm there. I'm not even homeless there. I'll be out there. I'll be up there, front in the line. Like, where is my panda mac and cheese, please?
Yes. Like, I want a whole tray of that too. Like, the whole tray. Like, give me all of that, man. Oh man. We got any new music to really talk about? I saw Juicy J release that album. Didn't really get to listen to it though. I saw Jim Jones released the deluxe version of Cabo. I actually like that album. Didn't get to listen to that though. What about you?
I know Lil Yachty dropped something. He dropped Lil Boat 3.5 or something like that.
3.5, 3.5, the deluxe version. Honestly, bro, like, I don't know about you, but I was never really a Yachty fan like that, honestly.
I was an early Yachty fan. Like, I feel like his prime was Lil Boat, the mixtape, and I feel like ever since then it just went downhill. But I like one song off it. I like the little song with Dirk and Young Thug, Till the Morning. I feel like that's the only song I'll listen to off of it. But yeah, like you said, I was never the Yachty fan out that class. I was always like a more Uzi or 21 type of guy. But Yachty, he has his own lane. I feel like he doesn't have to be a big rap star out of that. Like, he's a more of a business type of guy. I feel like he's making money on his brand more so than rap. And I feel like that's perfect. Like, you don't have to be that. Get in there and get what you need to get out of that. And I feel like that's what Yachty did, bro.
Right. He's one of those artists that kind of really excelled at, like, using rap as a platform in order to get into other avenues of business, like you said. And like you said, just building himself like a brand.
Yeah, and that's what rappers should really strive to do. Because at the end of the day, you are your biggest brand. So you might as well make money off yourself before these companies do.
Right, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about today?
Nah, bro. Shout out Dave Chappelle, the GOAT, man. If y'all haven't watched Unforgiven, go watch that, bro. Free Dave Chappelle and don't watch the Chappelle Show.
Unfortunately, it's tempting, but don't watch it.
Yeah, don't.
With that being said, that wraps up another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. Until next one, we'll catch y'all.
Hi, Chantel, man.